What's up, self-healers? Yeah, here lately I've noticed that I will do a video and then I'll say, well, dang, I really wanted to say this or that as well. So this is a continuation of today's video on the things that TIs should do to cope with this type of warfare. And one of the first things I said was that one should should not fear being unalived, because the end of life is no different than the beginning of life, right? And so one being controlled through fear of that is a powerful tool to have. So if you don't fear that, right? Not saying that you want it to happen to you or anyone else, but if you don't fear it, then you take back your power. Yeah? So I want to make that clear, right? So in not fearing death, you take back your power. That's all I'm saying about that. And then the other one was radical acceptance, that this is the gang stalking is something that is occurring, and once you're on this targeted list, that you could potentially be on this targeted list for the rest of your life. The next one was be like water. Yeah, just be like fluid. Just kind of go with the flow. And the last one was don't worry about what could happen. Yeah, expect the unexpected, but don't worry about what could happen. You deal with that when it comes. But I wanted to come back on and include this in there. That the second that you realize you're being gang stalked, right? Because I believe this thing has been going on. By the time we figure out that that's what's happening, it's been going on for years. Excuse me. And so you will have in your mind, like, have I been mind controlled this whole time type of energy, right? Because you'll start questioning, how long has this been going on? You'll look back and you'll see that things have been similar to the energy that you're feeling now, that you are aware of the gang stalking. But once you become aware of it, what you need to do is you need to promise yourself, like make a solid promise to yourself. Make up your mind from the beginning that regardless of what happens, you're not going to hurt yourself and you're not going to hurt anybody else. Because at the end of the day, all that accomplishes, we've seen this from people who've already done it. People who've already done it, they either end up in the mental hospital, they either end up in jail, or they either end up unalived. And the most that happens from that is that they're talked about on other people's channels. They're a hashtag. So nothing comes of that. Now, the thing that did come of that, I give honor to the people who have already done such things, because what they're doing is they're shedding light on the topic of gang stalking. And that may have been their mission, but they've already accomplished that mission, right? They've accomplished that. So from here forth, no one else needs to do that. So you're not making some radical statement by unaliving yourself or unaliving someone else to prove a point. So one needs to make up their mind from the beginning that that's what's not going to happen. Yeah? And because at the end of the day, nothing lasts forever. And either they are going to convert the entire country into gang stalking and make it law, set it into law, or it's just eventually this experiment will end. Yeah. You may not be here to see it, but by unaliving oneself or hurting anyone else outside of oneself, it's not going to change anything. It's just going to go on the statistics as one of the ones who reacted in this or that way. And you want to be on the statistics that had a strong mind and a strong will and a strong determination. Yeah. You want to go on the statistics as one of the people who advocated for TIs, who stood up and spoke out about gang stalking. You don't want to be one of the people that other TIs are speaking about and feeling bad for because they decided to check out or they decided to take other people with them. Like I said, the people who have done that did a service for TIs because it has shed more light on the topic. But because we have technology, we don't have to go through those extremes. Yeah, we can use our voices. Yeah, we can use coming together as a community. We can use continuing to speak up. but no one has to be hurt. Or, like I said, those are extreme cases. And so staying in tune with yourself and staying grounded as much as you possibly can, staying healthy, yeah, and staying in the fight, however it works for you, right? However it works for you. If you're doing something that you find drains you, that is stressing you out, that is making you get sick and making you feel bad about yourself, making just something that's taking the life force out of you, then that's not the way you're supposed to be going. That's not the way you're supposed to be going. Find another way to advocate. But if it's draining you and causing you to spiral out, that's not what your creator has in mind for you. That's not it. So find another way. Get on someone else's team who has the energy and the life force to fight head on, fight on the front lines, and you can be in the background or something, assisting them with paperwork or assisting them with something else. But if it's draining your life force and making you feel horrible on top of already being gang stalked, then that's not the route that you should go. Yeah. I just wanted to come back on and make that clear, that when I was speaking about not being afraid of being unalived, that I didn't mean that in a derogatory way, nor did I mean that in a I didn't mean that in a negative way. I meant that in a way of taking back your power, of standing in your power. Yeah. Because if someone is afraid of that, now they're walking in extreme fear on a daily basis. And part of this is keeping you in fear, keeping you confused, and keeping you angry. Yeah. And so if you can take back some of your power by not being afraid of being unalived, just saying it is what it is and keeping on going, that's a big chunk of your power. Yeah. And so the goal as an advocate against being targeted is not to be drugged through the mud, to spiral out, to hurt oneself or hurt someone else. Yeah. We've already had those foot soldiers that have done that. And we don't need to do that anymore. We don't need to lose anybody else to this. Yeah. Not to this. Not to gang stalking. Yeah. And so I'm encouraging you to stay grounded, put your feet on the ground and put your face towards the sun, and know that this is a huge entity that one individual alone cannot beat. Yeah. So don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. And I'm not only speaking to you, I'm speaking to me. Right. Yeah, continue to be a good person. Continue to be the healer that you are. Continue to be the self-healer that you are. And always remember that out of all the things that you've been through in this lifetime, you have been 100% successful in overcoming. And this is just another thing. Those are very good statistics, by the way. Yeah. So you have what it takes. We have what it takes. I just wanted to come back on and say that a lot of times I'll make a video and then I think maybe I should have added this or that. Yeah. And so I just stopped and said, okay, I'll add it. Yeah. So stay strong out there. Do what works for you. You don't have to do too much. Do what works for you, to where you're not losing your life force and that you're able to stay healthy. Yeah. And check out that last video that I made on the things that TIs should do. I think it's powerful information. Yeah. I think those are great tools to put in your tool bag along this journey of being a targeted individual. Well, gang stalking is real and targeted individuals are real. And I would be inclined to say that MK Ultra and COINTELPRO are still in full effect. That's all I have for you tonight here on Closing the Gap. If you like my energy, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment, and if you're really feeling my vibe, don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you know the next time I upload. I also wanted to share this book. Ironically, this book is on the topic of gang stalking, and look at the name of it. I had to think back and say, what was my motive for naming my channel Closing the Gap? Anywho, I believe it was in regards to closing the gap between the awakened and the unawakened. Yeah. Anyways, this book is not bad on the topic of gang stalking. So yeah, you might want to grab it and yeah, take a look at it. Check it out. Well, that's all I have for you here on Closing the Gap. We'll chat with you later. Y'all have a good evening.